Welcome to our special show, Living Long and Healthy with COVID Vaccination. I'm Gargi Rawat. This show seeks to address concerns that you may have regarding the COVID vaccination and living in this new normal. Remember, vaccination is the only way to protect yourself, and it's the only way we're going to defeat this pandemic. Today we have with us experts who will address any concerns and questions that you have. Joining us on the show today, Dr. Raman Raj, interventional cardiologist at the Heart Care Clinic, Asansol, Dr. Rohit Agarwal, Director Agarwal Healthcare in Patiala, and Dr. S.M. Ashraf, Professor and Head Cardiology at Government Medical College, Kannur. Thank you so much, doctors, for taking time out and answering all our questions. I'd like to start with you, Dr. Raman Raj. We have two vaccines currently in our kitty in India, Covaxin and Covishield. How are the two vaccines available in India different from one another?
Yeah, there is some basic difference in these two vaccines, but I must say that both the vaccines are effective, and whichever vaccine you take, you must take the same vaccine the second time also, and the vaccines are not interchangeable. So you must not fear about taking vaccine. You must take the vaccine when your turn comes, and you should take the same vaccine second time. So whatever the difference is, it is only for the medical interest, and for general people, you must understand that both the vaccine are effective.
All right. Dr. Rohit Agarwal, it may sound a simple question, but this is one we get very often regarding vaccines, especially because, it's just been a year since this pandemic hit us, and then there was this race to produce a vaccine. We all know that vaccines take years to develop, but these vaccines have been, produced in less than a year's time. So the question people ask is, are these vaccines safe?
Yes, madam, you are absolutely right. Both the vaccines, whether you talk about the Covaxin or you talk about the Covishield, which is available in the India, both the vaccines are safe. And if, to your surprise also, India is one of the biggest exporter of the vaccines to the outside world. And whenever any vaccine which comes into the market, it usually comes after stringent, testing protocols. And because of this pandemic, it has been launched under emergency authorization, but till date both the vaccines are equally safe, though there are minor hiccups, there are minor side effects like in the form of fever, myalgias, which usually last for a day or two, and they usually go away with a single tablet of paracetamol. Nothing else is required. We advised all our patients, please go for vaccination.
Dr. Ashraf, will the side effects be any different, for people who have a heart condition or cardiovascular disease?
There is no difference when compared to the general population in heart patients. The whole heart patient can receive this vaccine, the COVID vaccine, and there is no issue related using vaccine in patient already receiving aspirin or clopidogrel, all these medications. So, in fact, heart disease patients are getting maximum benefit by receiving the COVID vaccine, because after getting COVID, the morbidity and the death rate is maximum in the cardiovascular disease patients. So if you take the risk-benefit ratio, the almost equal to 1:2,000 to 1:200,000. So we have to encourage all heart patients to receive the COVID vaccine, and the side effect profile also is same as general population. So not much issue related to taking vaccine in heart disease patients.
Right. Dr. Raman Raj, I'd like to ask you also about that. As a heart patient, is there anything that people need to look out for, anything special, any changes in medication, consulting their doctors before they go ahead and get the vaccine?
No, actually, there is no special precautions for taking the vaccine for cardiac patients. Only they have to inform to the vaccinator that which medicine they are taking and their history of any drug allergic reactions during previous vaccination. So these are the two important points that they have to mention to the vaccinator first, and then they can take their vaccine fearlessly.
Dr. Rohit Agarwal, another issue is that people don't realize it's not just a one-time thing. Perhaps it could be that we'll be taking the vaccines, more often, maybe even every year. Just how long do we know are the vaccines going to be effective?
Practically speaking, we don't know presently how long this vaccine will be effective, because there are the trials which are still going on, and if I'm not wrong, the ICMR is doing one trial pre-vaccination and after post-vaccination 6 months and 1 year, they will be checking the antibodies in the people who have vaccinated themselves. Only the trials will tell us for how long this vaccine will be effective, but presently what the guidelines, they say you take a one shot of vaccine and you repeat the shot after 6 weeks to 8 weeks to have a maximum level of the antibodies. But the whatever the anecdotal reports which we have today, they say it might be effective for approximately 8 months or even a year, but I think that trials, they will definitely come up and they will show how long it will be effective.
Right, Dr. Ashraf, again, concerning people who've had procedures, should people who have a stent fitted go in for the vaccine?
Absolutely, it is patient can take the vaccine. Those are already undergone angioplasty, even if it is single stent or multiple stent. And about the blood thinners, I already said earlier that you can take vaccine even if it is on aspirin or clopidogrel. And other thing is anti-blood clotting medication like warfarin. You can take the vaccine. Only a little bit risk of minor bleeding risk is there in the local site, but that time you can slightly compress for 2 to 5 minutes. So that is very, very rare. And previously people are having concern, especially European countries like Denmark and all, there was issue related to thromboembolic risk. But it is just like the incidence is just like general population, nothing to do with the vaccine. So those are already undergone angioplasty, or those who are waiting for the angioplasty, they can bravely take the vaccine, both the first dose and second dose, no issue at all.
All right, Dr. Raman Raj, now, over this last year since this pandemic broke and then you had the lockdown and people were all, staying at home and being very, very careful, what did happen was a lot of procedures got put off and a lot of elective procedures people put off over the last year. What is your advice to them now? Do you think they should go ahead and opt for these procedures?
First of all, emergency procedures should always be done as soon as possible. And regarding the elective procedures, still nowadays we have seen the steep rise in number of COVID infections in our population, and so it is advisable to take all the precautionary measures before you go for the elective procedures. And elective procedures are also not contraindicated. If you want to go for elective procedures, you have to take all the precautionary measures. You have to do the tests for COVID infection in the person, and all the necessary steps inside the operation theater and outside the operation theater of social distancing, hand sanitization, and proper sanitization of the operation theater should be done. So elective procedures are not contraindicated, but they have to be undertaken with special precautions.
All right. Well, thank you so much for answering those questions and clearing those doubts. We're discussing any, questions that you may have regarding vaccinations. Do remember, vaccines is the only way we're going to defeat the pandemic. And if you're eligible, you should go ahead and get the vaccine. We'll slip into a short break and return with more answers to any questions you may have. Welcome back. You're watching our special show, Living Long and Healthy with COVID Vaccinations. We have a panel of doctors answering any questions and doubts that you may have regarding the vaccines. Dr. Ashraf, again, we want to talk about, the vaccines and the short period of time that they were, created in. If you could tell us, how are these vaccines even developed in such a short period of time? There are many procedures that one has to go through for vaccine development.
I think this extraordinary effort by the scientists all over the world, because the scientists knew about the genomic sequence at the beginning of the disease itself. That's almost in January and published in the internet throughout the world. So then second, this virus is not new to the scientists, because this is the SARS-CoV-2, there is a SARS and MERS is there. So these are the common pathogens is there. Vaccines develop against this pathogen, that is antigen, that is spike protein. So they already have been developing this vaccine against this antigen, spike protein, this common antigen. So already in the middle of that work, and now we have a new disease, then further modification is there. Third thing is this is so prevalent. So you have a lot of patients are there. So a lot of health workers voluntarily come forward and to participate in the study. and also follow-up phase 3 trials. For the phase 3 trials, the follow-up data is easily available. Then lastly, the international cooperation and the government and the private policy they coordinated and helped to develop the vaccine early. So this is the early genomic sequence and discovery and the previous attempts against this same antigen, and the international cooperation thus made early development of the vaccine, that too short period of 6 to 8 months, so to help to stop the pandemic.
Right. Dr. Rohit Agarwal, the next question to you. Is the vaccine effective and safe in patients who have uncontrolled hypertension? Is there any special precautions that they need to take?
Yes, ma'am. The vaccine is totally safe in the patients who are hypertensive and they are on medicine. First of all, your question was on uncontrolled hypertension, but I would love to say if any person is having uncontrolled hypertension, it is better to take the medicine for the blood pressure properly, make the blood pressure under control, then you go for the vaccination. There were earlier myths that certain antihypertensive medicines should not be given if one catches COVID, but there was an overexpression of the ACE pathways. I think that was taken care of. Now there are number of papers, number of research literature is available that all the medicines, they are safe. Even we can continue with the ACE inhibitors, ARB blockers, even those patients who have got COVID-19. So these patients who are hypertension, who are well controlled, I think they should go for vaccination. And if you see earlier, the government, they started the process that all the senior citizens above the age of 60, they start taking vaccination. And if we remember, these comorbidities, especially the hypertension, diabetes, ischemic heart diseases, usually happen in the elderly age group. So looking into this elderly age group, if any person hypertension, having ischemic heart disease, diabetes, they should take vaccination because it is the only way presently which can protect us from this deadly disease.
All right. Dr. Raman Raj, even after we get the vaccine, we're told that you have to continue following COVID protocols and continue being careful. Can one still transmit and spread COVID post the vaccination?
Yes, very interesting question, because we must learn that vaccination does not protect us from the infection, it protects us from the disease. It protects us from the severe disease, from hospitalization and death. So still it is possible that after vaccination also one can have the COVID viral infection, but definitely when one vaccinated person will have the viral infection again, then he will have a much lesser severity, and though he can transmit the disease, but to him the disease will be very less severe.
All right. Dr. Ashraf, does the immunity one receives from the vaccine, is that better than the protection one receives from having had the coronavirus infection?
So this is very important question, because if you take those already having COVID disease having more protection than vaccine, I say vaccine is always better than having disease of COVID, because the COVID vaccine will give the cellular immunity. There is a long-term memory like T-cell immunity and the humoral immunity. Humoral immunity only for the short time, but the cellular immunity, that is T-cell mediated, will be long time. So the vaccine almost nearly 100% there is a humoral and cellular response. But if you take infection, the majority 7 to 10% of having the undetectable antibody, that means they are not immune. And also long-term memory, like long-term protection is lacking almost 9 to 10% of patients. And the route of entry, majority of patients are mucosal based. That means the respiratory infection, that is mucosal based immunity. Whereas if you take vaccine, they are giving injection at the intramuscularly. So the response is generalized and systemic response, and systemic, systemic protection from the disease. So that's why if you take vaccine, you will get even some percentage, like only the protection is, for example, Covishield and the Covaxin nearly 70 to 80%. The rest of the 20% are having some respiratory infection, that is mucosal based immunity. So we need a systemic immunity, that is only by the vaccine. So vaccine is always better than having disease.
Right, definitely better to get the vaccine and get protected than risk getting an infection. Dr. Raman Raj, now, what can people expect when they go in for the vaccination? What kind of side effects are there? We do know that people have to sit there for half an hour. Is that all, or do they need to keep monitoring themselves for a longer time as well?
Yeah, it is very important that when you go for vaccination, you have to take all the precautionary measures that you take otherwise also, that measures of social distancing, measures of hand sanitization and mask is very important. And when you are vaccinated, you have to wait there for 30 minutes and watch for any untoward reactions that you may have, though it is very, very rare, but anaphylaxis reactions are possible. So one has to wait there for 30 minutes, and if whatever abnormality he is feeling, he or she must report it to the vaccinator. So after 30 minutes also, when you go back home, you have to be careful about all the reactionary symptoms that you might have, like mild pain at the local site, or mild fever, or even myalgia, etc. are very common. But you don't have to be very anxious about all these, because these are will be controlled on the simple measures of taking some paracetamol and simple analgesic tablets.
All right, Dr. Rohit Agarwal, is the vaccine safe for people with heart disease? I know we've kind of covered that, but there's so much doubt in people's mind, especially since there have been these clotting reports, which have also been mentioned earlier on the show. So is it safe for people who have heart disease?
Yes, ma'am. The vaccine is totally safe for the patients with the heart disease. As we have already discussed, because the heart disease usually happen in the older age group after the age of 60 years, and the government initially started one should vaccinate those patients who have comorbidities like heart disease, diabetes, hypertension. There are 10 comorbid conditions which are listed in the sites of ICMR, and heart disease is one of them, that these patients, they should take vaccines. There is the patient must continue with their medicines, what they are taking, whether you talking of antiplatelet drugs or the anticoagulants. If one person is taking anticoagulants, they must check the INR, and we try to keep the INR between 2 to 3. If it is more than 3, then we should consult with the cardiologist and get it corrected. Once your INR is between 2 to 3, then they should go for the vaccine. The only thing is, vaccination is the only hope which can prevent us from this deadly disease, and I request all my viewers, all my listeners, they must vaccinate when their turn comes.
All right, well, that is the note to end this show on. Thank you so much, doctors, for joining us and clarifying all those doubts, all those questions that we get from people regarding the vaccines. And the overriding message, as you can see from the doctors, is the vaccines are safe. Go ahead and get vaccinated if you're eligible. It's the only way to defeat the pandemic. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.